Tulsa King Recap: The Fall of the House of Chickie. If you're the kind of viewer who likes when characters say cartoonishly crime drama things like, "The shooting just got real," or, "Here's $100, go buy your own life," there's actually a lot to like in this week's episode of Tulsa King. Well, that's a big question considering the number of truly excellent crime shows that aired this year. Fargo Season 5 doesn't end until January, and that's just the beginning. That's a tall order when you compare and contrast many of these things with what Terrence Winter, who co-wrote the episode with William Schmidt, did on The Sopranos or Boardwalk Empire. Winter hasn't lost his fastball, as we'll discuss, but he's playing a less productive game. If the remit is, help Stallone look tough and have a good time, well, that's a less exciting mission than the way America creates hapless sociopaths to harm and steal from others until they die. But I said there was good stuff in this episode, and I meant it. For example, the story of Armand, played by accidental turncoat semi-ex-mafia man Max Casella, could easily have come from any of the crime masterpieces Winter worked on. One by one, each Armand relies on to help him avoid Dwight's inevitable wrath. The boss knows Armand is the one who fed key intel to his rival, Cal Thrasher, and payback is only a matter of time. Armand calls his ex, but when he sees that she's half in the bag at 9 a.m. and wants him to join her in witness protection, he tells her to lose his number. Enraged, he fires Spencer, leading to an argument with his underling at the farm, his boss Margaret, which ends in his firing. He turns to his former benefactor Thresher, who grins in his face. If Dwight is on him, he won't be useful anymore. Casella packs a wallop in his last couple scenes. First, in an underpass, he leaves a tearful, unsettlingly candid message for one of his sons, with the pain of life as a perpetual fake-up etched on his face. Then, with desperation in his eyes and his pain trembling, he puts Tulsa's consigliere, Goody, on hold and leaves with a sack of clothing cash. His blaster on the way out the door seems like he's a dead man walking past his senses. Less sensitive but equally effective is the apparent condemnation of the Vince/Chickie power struggle in New York dramatically. With the approval of Chickie's remaining capos and other family bosses, Vince makes his move. But it's not a hit, it's a shooting. His fellow bosses and his own people simply tell him, "You're out." And that's him out. "Sure, it could have gone a different way, but we didn't want to," comes the explanation. And if Chickie resists, it could still go that different way. "You lost the locker room, dude," said one of the wise men in the crowd. "That's the bottom line." Indeed, what can he do? If everyone agrees that he is no longer the boss, the fact is that he is no longer the boss. But Vince, perhaps patronizingly, perhaps not, left the door open for a possible new role for the dethroned Don. "Keep the drinking under control, a few months. We'll see what happens." I suppose Chickie should count her lucky stars, but she finds it humiliating, perhaps worse than a beating, the same way Mitch tells reckless Tyson that getting arrested is worse than murder because it puts everyone in danger. Like the Armand material, it all plays out like a late-season Sopranos mini-arc, which is high praise. Side note, at the beginning of the episode, Chickie made a deal with Dwight to leave her daughter and grandchildren alone to return to New York City for safety. Vince, however, was out at the time of the plan, and never got the message since the family had been told by these people. Following members is considered prohibited though, so I'm not sure if that exclusion is in effect. Chickie isn't the only king who suffers a rebellion in this episode. Cal Thresher Armand is barely big-dogging when the same fate befalls him. His triad partner, Jackie Ming, simply decides to take over the entire operation, and again, this is what he takes over. I mean, Cal gets the classic offer he can't refuse, where either his signature or his brains will sign the deal with his weed farm gangsters. What else can he do? His best bet, he figures, is to look to his business partner Bill Bevilacqua for help. If Ming can steamroll him, Thresher argues, anyone else interested in the sector will be in jeopardy. But Bevilacqua will have none of it. He's furious to learn that Ming set off the car bomb that sent him and Dwight to their battle station, and blames